Hi, guys. Hello, hello. Welcome to the chat. Raise Your Vibes with Lynn Girardi, my dear friend. And
Hello,
Lynn,
hello.
I am super grateful that you agreed to do this. I'd been thinking about it for a while, and I just thought it
Thank
would be
you.
a hoot. I'm going to explain a little bit about what Lynn does and where we met, but Lynn has dedicated herself to raising the vibration of the planet. She's a life coach. She does her weekly videos and posts that really, especially during the lockdown, brought me so much joy, Lynn.
Oh,
So
thank
thank
you.
you for doing that. And
Thank you.
Lynn has her following of people that she inspires on a weekly basis. And Lynn, I thought it would be fun to talk about where we met.
Yes, it's a right. You are like the souvenir I brought home from virtually from the Bob Proctor event that I met you at. Our virtual friendship is a souvenir from the Bob Proctor event I met you at.
It
Um,
definitely was.
yeah, I forget the name of that one actually, but it was in Los Angeles, right? I think it was in like at the LA
Wasn't Science
airport.
of Getting Rich?
Oh yeah, probably yes, yes, yeah. It was great. I mean, everything. I mean, he's really your mentor, right? So I mean, so you really do. I hear your inspiring talks and in your videos, and I was looking at some this week, and I was like, Tisha, do they know you? They know you as Letitia here. I don't know what to call you.
You can call me Tish.
Okay.
On my regular page it's Letitia. My family are probably the only people that call me Letitia, and I don't
Oh
have a lot of
really?
family left.
Oh
And I
okay.
really
So
need
it's
to
Tish.
change that on my other page because it can be very confusing.
Oh right, right. But
And
it was you. But you really do. You bring your own message, but you also are you've been a excellent student of that material too. So to incorporate that in, and so you know that you're giving very powerful messages that are really like spot on. So I
well,
enjoy your
thank you,
videos
Lynn.
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I want to give a little bit of a background. So one of the things that I admire about you, Lynn, is you're one of those people that stepped up.
Thank you.
When we went through COVID and the lockdown, you said, I got to do something. There's so much negativity. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got to
yeah.
do so. I remember you saying that in one of
Thanks.
your calls. And I was like, gosh, what if more people were like Lynn and just stepped up to the plate and
Thank
decided
you.
to bring positivity instead of all this
Right.
negativity
There's
that we're
such
surrounded by, you
I know
know?
there's so much of the other. It's just it was so I mean again, we none of us have been through this kind of thing before. So to be and I also had gotten laid off before that. So I was already home and now we had to stay home. And now I'm looking through, I just keep thinking about how I was looking through my my phone, Facebook, look at the live stream during that time when things were just starting with a pandemic, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, this is so depressing and scary. I was like, I literally could not find anything positive. Everybody was just saying like, what are we gonna do? It was so, and then I know from like the kind of material that we have always been studying, and the events that we've been going to, it's like, wait a minute, there's another way to look at life, and even in the challenging times, and this is as challenging as I hope to God it gets, we have to, well, what else have we got to try? I mean,
Yeah.
if we believe in like law of attraction, if you get into that, or just positive mindset. I mean, people think of positive thinking as helpful, so even if they don't think about law of attraction, but you combine the two, it's like, what have you got to lose? You're going to just immerse yourself in all this negativity when we're all scared and everything, or you're going to try to make yourself feel a little bit better, at least just so you could get through the day.
And you did just that. You stepped up, you created a new page. What
Thank
was
you.
your
Yeah.
page called? Lovely Thoughts, Lovely Day, I think
Very
it was.
good. Very good. See,
Yeah.
you're very good with these details and everything. Very good. Yeah. Lovely thoughts and lovely day. Because I kept thinking, geez, we're waking up every morning. I'm like, oh God, what do we got to deal with today when this pandemic started, and all the news updates and everything. So I thought, if we could kind of make it more positive and think of that song like, let's have a lovely day. That's a Bill Withers song. Plus, I always felt it like a relaxing kind of a mood shifting kind of a song, and just the thought of that, I mean, I don't use the word lovely much, but but the song was like, let's shift to, instead of waking up getting scared each morning, let's try to think, how could I have a lovely day, or at least a little bit better of a day.
Absolutely. And if more people stepped up like you did right now and brought in more positivity, people say social media is bad.
Yeah.
I think it's bad if you misuse it, right? If you're posting negative things, or if you're on there all creating division and dissension, and if you're on there 24/7, which is hard sometimes. It's a little bit of an addiction for me because I run my business out of social media, but it can be used, and that's exactly what you did, to uplift, to help people feel better, to bring some positivity.
Thank you. Yeah, and really, it's like, I first was thinking, wow, if this seems negative to me, people need some kind of a little bit of a hopeful lifeline here, and it'll help me as well. But I know the things that like we study about the mindset and vibration and everything. A lot of people, and I hate to say it, I think those are the people who were like hoarding toilet paper and stuff. A lot of people who don't know that there is still hope, even in the toughest looking circumstances. If they don't know that, maybe some information on a positive site on Facebook or something could help them calm down a little bit, and because some people just didn't, right? The people who I think worried the most, were those who didn't know. Like, they just think, well, like, they don't even know about the power of this stuff, of mindset and attracting better circumstances. Plus, if you want to try to stay healthy, that's also part of like what we study.
Yeah.
If you're going to focus on negativity and sickness, that you increase your chances to sort of get in that vibe. You want to think, they're thinking sickness, I want to think vitality, wellness, and I'll still do what is needed for feeling safe, sure. How that person feels, but
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know Lynn lives in New York, so she was in the middle of the center of disaster, right?
Right. It's
tell us a little bit about that.
Thanks. I kind of forget about that, because I think every single place was the same. But I know there's places. I mean, pretty much everybody had to deal with. And California had a lot of a situation too, and
yeah, but I don't think it was as intense as where you live, at least not where I live.
Oh, well, thank God for that. Yeah. I mean, and also for me, even though it was intense, I don't, the worst part was in Manhattan, in New York City. I'm in Brooklyn, so not that it's like I say, it's not like I'm living in Kansas, but I'm a little detached from Manhattan. It's a little slower, a little, not as crowded, and but I mean, you heard the numbers every day about people passing away and stuff, and it's and I had a friend. I still have a friend who is a physician's assistant in like one of the main hospitals there, and he's like, he would tell us like, yeah, it's really gotten bad there, but thank God things got a lot better. And let's no matter what the TV says, I still want to focus on things are going to still even out and clear out. Yeah,
we have to. So when you're one of the people that is a huge fan of Abraham Hicks and the law of attraction, so you brought that to the table, and I can't tell you how many times you made me feel better when you were.
Thank you. I'm so glad.
And you would remind me of stuff. It's like sometimes we just, even though we need to remember, be reminded, right? Because we're human and we slip, and so it's so wonderful. I surround myself with friends that are very much that way, that if I slip, they're going to remind me, and
vice versa. It's true. Thank you. That's a beautiful way to put it. Yeah. Because we're still, right, Dr. Wayne Dyer used to say we're spiritual beings having a human experience.
Yeah.
But we still have the human part of us, right? And so we're not going to be, you're not going to be positive and calm and peaceful all the time. And things are going to trigger you. We've all lived through childhoods and traumas or whatever. or just all the different things you see on TV about don't eat this, don't eat that. That's going to get you. This is going to get. It's like, like, of course we're all like this.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. One of the reasons I wanted to have you on here too is, as you know, I did a 3-day challenge about showing up authentically.
Fantastic.
And you're super authentic. I just love that.
I
think people do really appreciate that about you. And you do your dancing, and you're not afraid to dance and do the exercising part of
I do push myself. Believe me, I do push myself. I mean, it's like I keep hearing, this always comes up in any class I happen to attend or whatever. You probably have heard this too. The people who are speaking, even if they're doing like, very outgoing activities, whatever, they'll say, but actually I am a shy person. I'm actually an introvert. And I think, I feel like that too, but I'm just pushing myself.
Absolutely, me too. I grew up an introvert.
I like to be quiet and fade into the background, right?
Yeah.
What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you that I feel like I'm an introvert too, mostly, and so I get it, and that's a great point that you're making. That for the people that are afraid, right?
Right. Yeah. And so many times I think about that. Even like I know that. And also, let's face it. I would think most of us, the first time you do anything, especially, you think, I don't know how to do this. I've never done it before. I'm bad at this. No, you just never have done it before. Once you do it once at least, and then you practice, then it becomes like it's not even like you don't even realize necessarily that you're gaining confidence. You're just like, oh yeah, this is routine, and now it's a routine, and the confidence kind of shows. The first time I did a podcast. Last year, I was so nervous before that. I mean, like so nervous, and writing notes down, and I think I practiced and all that. And then once you do it once, it's like also we have, the monkey mind chatter, whatever. We build up things in our heads, probably most of us, that are so much worse than anything that we're going to do. And it's like, no, it's not even like that. So,
it's so
you
true.
have to see yourself do it once, I think. And then any introvert can do a Facebook Live. What's the difference? Jimmy Fallon on his show, I love Jimmy Fallon, but on the Tonight Show during the pandemic, his kids would come across, they'd pull on him, they'd making screaming noises. There was a judge did you see that on the news?
I didn't.
Oh my gosh, there was a judge doing like on a Zoom, court session or something or meeting. And his secretary, he didn't realize he was using his secretary's computer or something. He was talking in the face of a pussycat. Because it was a Zoom filter. That was a judge.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so fun. I love it.
It's on YouTube. Look it up. It's really
I will.
But there's no perfection anymore. And to me, 2020, if anything, gave us all more permission to be yourself. Give it a shot. If you make a mistake, don't worry about it.
Nobody really cares. Like people, like I used to think, oh, what are people going to think? They don't really care. They want to see somebody show up and make mistakes even, because it makes us human. It makes us like relatable, because nobody's perfect, right?
Right, exactly. And and so often people are afraid of like, oh, but the audience is with it. I'm like, and you think really, I've been in the audience too, and it's like most times, most people in the audience, especially, they're nervous. They're nervous to even ask a question or to be up there. So it's not just everybody's nervous.
Everybody's the same. Everybody gets nervous. Right?
It's human. It's human. As spiritual as we try to be and incorporate these principles into our lives, and I think it does help you. I mean, that's why I stick with, like, for me, like the Apex information and other things too. I mean, I do like the other spiritual speakers too. But because I find like, oh, this gives me kind of like a cheat book of when these little things come up, how can I think of it, or what action do I take to make this be easier and not so hard, scary, sad, annoying. You know what I'm saying? It's like helpful tips.
It's like a guidebook, when you
Yeah.
get derailed, it's like, wait, let me
Right.
go
That's
back to
very
the
good. A
guidebook.
guidebook when you get derailed. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
love that too. And I love the point that you made that it's doing the things that scare you, that give you confidence, because I talk about that all the time.
Yes.
But with regards to, the law of attraction,
Right.
we are like amplifying, I think, with this COVID. This is
Yeah.
like the biggest chance for us to practice
Right.
the
Right.
law of attraction and raise our vibration. Regardless, I always say this is the PhD program.
Right.
If you're
Very
here
good.
on the planet at this time
Yes.
and you
Definitely.
can raise your vibration regardless, you graduated. You don't have to come back.
Right. That's right. Right. This is the, yeah, definitely. This is like the SAT course.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear. This is about raising your vibration, law of attraction. So I
Yes.
would love to hear, what are your go-tos through this tough time? What do you do? Well, obviously I know you come on live and you inspire people, but in your
Yeah. For
own time,
myself. Yeah.
what are your go-tos that you like to do to raise your vibration and stay in that positive mindset?
Yeah. Thank you. That's a very good question, because I mean, the two things that have been pretty consistent for me, which I'm kind of surprised I was able to keep this up, but to me it's simple enough. I do like 15 or 20-minute meditation every morning.
Mhm.
I'm pretty consistent with that. I mean, at one point I was going back and forth, but now I'm pretty consistent with that because it's actually comfortable to me and it's easy. I happen to take a TM, Transcendental Meditation course, like
Mm.
4 years ago or 5 years ago, and for some reason that one meditation was easy enough for me to keep up with it. I was shocked because all the other ones, like, I never really could. But you don't have to do that one, because that one's very simple. You just like staying
Yeah.
quiet, focusing on a mantra they give you that doesn't make any sense to you, so it keeps your rational minds like busy,
Yeah.
and it's calming to me. So I do that also because I like, again, I love Abe Hicks because, it's kind of like, I think of it like there are some people who are, say, on it, not that you have to have a diet, anybody, but like some people are following, they're vegan, some people are doing, Weight Watchers or what. It doesn't mean that they think everything else stinks, that they're using one to work with fully, kind of, and that's sort of what I'm
Yes.
doing. It
Yeah.
feels more like a fit, but ultimately you have to go within for your own answers, your own intuitive guidance and all that. But I do the meditation and a very little gratitude list every morning. That's the basic.
I love it. Yeah.
I mean, there are other things, but those are the two. Then there's I guess, in a nutshell, if I think of like from what I get from the Ib Hicks material anyway, and I still also enjoy a lot of Bob Proctor's information and other speakers. As a matter of fact, on LinkedIn, I notice I'm always sharing Bob Proctor quotes and Sandy Gallagher quotes. But I think in a nutshell, the thing about, I love this as just like personal guidance for like everyday decisions in your life. Feel good first. That's really what the Apex material talks about. Feel good first. Get into that good feeling state first. Then make the phone call. Then write your email. Then do your to-do list. You take your, go to your job. It's like, wow, that's an interesting idea. I should feel good first before I do anything in the day. I shouldn't just try very hard and effort through my to-do list. And isn't that the way things get done? Yeah, they do get done that way, but not in as easy and as pleasant a way and as healthy a way as if you do it
Yeah.
when you're plugged in to God energy, the source, the universe, whatever you want to call it, that helps you supposedly like leverage. It sort of it makes you get things done with much more joy and ease. And the key to that is feeling good, following your passions, following your bliss. That's another thing. It's a way to connect to that high vibe energy, which helps then everything else, and things will fall into place like magic. But you got to
It's
try it yourself.
amazing.
You have to try it yourself. Don't, I always tell people too, don't just listen to me. Don't take my word for it. Also, I'm on my own spiritual journey. This is what I understand if it doesn't resonate with you, don't take it. Do what works for you. But that's what works for me.
Yeah,
Thankfully.
I love that. And, some people call it action out of alignment is
Right,
when
right.
you're feeling good, right?
Yeah, alignment. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you notice like, wow, the day just flowed. It wasn't
Yes.
like a push. It
Right.
wasn't hard. It was just like, okay, things just fell into place. And, I've been guilty most mornings, I would say 99% of the time. I have a powerful morning routine, but there's a day here and there where I won't do it and I'll hit the
Yeah,
ground
that's okay.
running. Complete different day. And I always remind myself, Tish, why is your day not flowing right now? Because you
Oh,
didn't do your morning routine and you
interesting.
didn't
Yeah.
do your meditation and I love to do scripting. I like to
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
Andrew Capp's. For
Yes.
those of
He's
you,
got fantastic
Lynn
exercises.
introduced me to Andrew Capp because she interviewed him. And for those of you that don't know who Andrew Capp is, he wrote the last law of attraction book you'll ever need to buy
To read.
to read. Thank
That's
you.
okay. There's a lot of words in that
That's the
title.
last one you need to buy too.
Right, and same thing, right? It works out that way, especially if the libraries are closed. You have to
Yeah,
buy it.
but I really love the exercises in there. In fact,
Yes,
I often go back, but one that I really love out of there is called scripting.
yes,
Maybe he calls it something else, but you're just writing out your vision.
yes.
And then the gratitude exercise where you write the past, present, and future
Yeah,
things
that like time lapse. Is that time lapse? I like that too.
yeah,
That's what the
so
book group
good.
that I have, that they like that too. It's like that's a popular one. It was like writing, right? So like a couple of things, three things that you're grateful for from your past, three things that you're grateful for in your present, and three that you're grateful for, picturing them in your future and writing them
Yeah,
all as if they're in the present. Again, that's from Andrew Capp, and
yeah.
he's got his book is excellent, and
I have to
he's
give
got a
him
YouTube
credit.
channel. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
very good person too. But
He's
yes,
a great person. And so, you know, most people, I think, Lynn, they do hit the ground running. And I believe that that's why life becomes very difficult, even to stay positive, right? Because
right,
in fact, some people say the first thoughts you should have when you open your eyes, which I don't do. I'll just be honest. I'm honest about
right.
what I,
No, no way. I mean, none of us,
yeah.
no, we don't do it
But
perfectly.
I'm glad we're talking about it because I'm going to try to do it. But it should be
Yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you
Yes.
that I'm alive and I'm breathing
Yes.
and
Right.
all of that. So, it's what the way that I see it, and I don't know if you agree, is we are here to learn how to direct energy, right?
Yeah. Seems like that. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think also to grow in. I just heard this yesterday too. Someone was talking about Dr. Moody. I think about near death experiences, and they were saying that many people that have had these near death experiences and come back. It seems like a big main lesson is not what you accomplished. It's how much love you were able to how you were able to grow in love.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. But I think
Yeah.
the vibration, all that is a huge part of it as well. I totally say that too. Yes.
Thank you for pointing that out because I was thinking about the scale of emotions. I don't know if you saw it in my page that I
Oh,
shared.
I have to check, and I have to. Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
class this whole week, so I'm a little
Oh,
out of
no
sync.
worries. For those of you that don't know what the scale of emotions is, David Hawkins wrote a book called Power versus Force.
Oh, okay.
And there's this amazing diagram, and the lower emotions like shame, guilt, fear, pride, what they do is they create struggle and we can't magnetize what we want. And then in the scale, it goes up, I think, to courage. Courage is the place, that emotion where we move up. But love is one of the highest vibrations. And
Right. Abraham Hicks has a similar emotional guidance
that's
scale.
right. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Right,
Yeah.
and they say the way I don't have it in front of me, and even when I tell people about it, I wonder, like, I really should take another look at it because maybe I'm getting some of them wrong. But ultimately, what I remember of it is like the lowest frequency is like grief, depression, hopelessness. And as you get up, you go toward, even anger is actually more empowering, and actually like a little bit more higher vibration than grief, because grief, you feel powerless. But
Yeah.
anger, if you think about it, when you get angry about something, all of a sudden you have like confidence. Yeah, and another thing, but not to stay there. But that's better than feeling like helpless. There's nothing I
Yes.
can do, right?
Yeah.
And then you keep moving, and then maybe frustration is a little bit better than angry, right? Because we're frustrated probably a lot of time. I look at this, but we're not like, throwing the TV out the window. That's an improvement from anger. And then you go toward everything else is like optimism, hope, and then I think the highest thing is love, which, from my understanding, that highest frequency is like the highest spiritual frequency. That's the God energy, the whatever you want to call it, source energy. Yeah.
And I was listening to Gabby Bernstein the other day. She has a really good book on the law of attraction.
Yeah, I haven't read it, but I heard of it.
Book. Oh, it's another one. It's called.
It's a new one.
You can download it for free, you guys, or you could off her website. It was called, I Think You Are Your Own Guru. It actually was.
Oh, I like that. Because I like that whole idea, because I think that's what people need to know. Because there's a lot of us are coaches and everything, and I still feel like, even when I go to a coach, I still feel like I want, like, I hope they realize it, and I want to say that to the people that I help. Like, ultimately, I'm not your answer source. You have to go within. And anybody that says you have to keep coming to me for the rest of your life, like, run the other way.
Yeah, exactly. The idea is that a coach, or even a guru, a good guru, not a weird one, is just going to help you to make your own decisions and get your own clarity. All they do is they're like the catalyst.
Like a guide. Yeah, a catalyst, a guide.
Yeah, I always think of myself as a catalyst, but I don't want to tell people what to do. But you're a safe space for people to be healing, to get their stuff out, and all of that.
That's true too,
yeah. So you're just like, a lot of us need love right now, and we need to feel unconditional love, right?
Right.
And you don't, like, as far as us coaches, that's, I believe, what we're giving as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Well, because I think the thing is to what is it that I think, like, Apex calls it? I think they also say, like, unconditional acceptance too. It's sort of like that you don't have to. I mean, whether it's for a person, that's a good point. Like, thinking about for people that you're working with, I'm thinking about, like, unconditional acceptance with, like, if you have challenges in your life, or say, okay, today is well, part of the day was good, then it has some challenges with this one or that one or this situation, and we're supposed to be okay enough with it. Like, you don't have to like it, but just kind of unconditionally accept, this is how life is, things will get better, whatever. And so I think that it's sort of like on the way to, I think it may be kind of difficult. I don't like to use those kind of words. Difficult to say unconditional love, because even they say, even like, when what people call unconditional love as a human, often is just like attachment. I mean, this is like a deeper conversation that I don't even, I'm more in the entrepreneurial, but unconditional love, I think maybe the dogs give that to us.
I agree. That's a good point. I like the word unconditional acceptance, but what I've been working towards for myself is to unconditionally love myself.
That's a good one. I have to work on that too.
Judge myself for my mistakes of the past.
Right.
And, things that we don't do right.
Right.
Because I think that once we stop doing it to ourselves,
and
we practice that first, then it's easier. And we're not perfect. Sometimes we're going to judge.
Right.
There's just no two ways about it. But I've been working on that judgment, because nobody wants to feel judged. I've been very hard on myself my whole life. I would beat myself up.
Yes. Right.
So, especially women, when you say
Yes,
that we have
yes,
a
yes.
tendency to
Well, you
do
look at
that.
the magazines and all that stuff, and I have to say, I was shocked and impressed in a good way that they always talk about, right, women are tough on themselves because of all the things that you're supposed to look like this and all that, and on the magazines and the people in the movies, etc. um, I recently turned over I had a Dove soap, a box of Dove soap, and I turned it over and I saw the picture of the model on the other side. um, had a lot of birthmarks all over her body, her face and her body, and she did look like a fresh, beautiful face. And she's like a teenager or something. And I know that that company in particular, maybe it was 2 years ago or something. I don't know if Oprah was involved with it or what, but they're trying to show that to love, especially for women, love yourself as you are. There's beauty no matter how you look, and I think it's true. The more we love ourselves, love and accept ourselves as we are, then you can actually do that for other people.
Yeah.
There's that other thing that say, I mean, I kind of believe the saying I've heard, I don't know who exactly said it, but like, if for people who beat themselves up, or even for the other people that were, I mean, I got my things, I remember some things I try to forget, what other people did or whatever, but they say that everybody's doing the best they can, which that sounds like, oh yeah, I don't think that one was doing the best they can. Yeah, maybe not them, but but they say that if you or whoever wasn't doing what seemed like the best, then it's because they didn't have it in them then to do that. That
Yeah.
was the best they could do at that point.
Yes. I read something similar, and I wish I could like
Yeah, I don't know where it's
reproduce it.
from.
Yeah, it's funny how we're in tune, because I read some, and there was a, like, they didn't have the bandwidth, or
Right,
they
right.
didn't have the strength to
Yes.
do, and I love what Maya Angelou says, like, if you knew better, you would do better.
Yeah, okay. That's the
So,
same thing. Yeah.
yeah, so on a conscious level, we may know better, but our emotional side, our animal side, or
Right.
human side can take over sometimes if we're not aware,
Right.
right?
And at different ages, and different ages in our lives, we're open to more things, and now we're, you know, that was our pre-pandemic personalities. Now we may have different personalities. Who knows?
That is for sure. We should call it post-pandemic
Right. It's like
personality.
BP and AP before the pandemic and after the.
It's
Yeah.
so true. Well,
Yeah.
I loved, meant to come back around to this. So
Yeah.
Gabby Bernstein,
Yes. Yes.
in that book, You Are Your Own Guru,
Yeah.
she says, try to see everything through the lens of love, right?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So I was like, wow, that's a concept that I never really thought about.
Right. Who really thinks of that throughout, like a regular day, like regular ordinary events? Even.
Yeah, but that's a high vibration. When you said love is one of the highest vibrations.
Yeah.
So the question that I ask myself often is, okay, what would because your higher self is always connected to love.
Right. Right.
So what would my higher self think in this situation? What would she do, right? How would she respond? So
right. And
that's been very useful for me lately.
That's excellent. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. What would your that's excellent. And there's an interesting thing that always used to kind of confuse me. I think I'm getting the hang of it now, but like in David Hicks' philosophy, they would say, like, when you feel, say, aggravated about some person or something they did, those negative feelings are showing you that your higher self is not going in that direction. Like, if you like that's how like you would feel good if you're connected to your higher self. You would feel good about whatever they were doing because they unconditionally love. Like, we're talking unconditionally loving,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
But if you're feeling lousy, that means you started pulling your plug out of the outlet that's charging you into the you feel lousy because you're opposite of what your higher self thinks. You're opposite of what they're thinking, right? So it's like, oh, this guy is an idiot. And
Yes.
you're feeling like aggravation. My mother, it's so funny. Maybe she's my deceased mother. Maybe she's giving me a message, hanging. She used to. I mean, this is kind of funny. I'm sure she's giving me this inspiration because I don't know why I'm thinking of this. Anytime someone would block the driveway, right, our driveway, she'd come running out. Oh, excuse me. And I think when she's gone and someone blocks the driveway, I start going into. I was like, wait a minute, it's not that big of a deal, you know. But it's like anytime people annoy you or something, it's really not that big of a deal, and that's really not how your higher self is seeing it.
That's true. And the other thing that I think about, because I can get crabby, you know.
Me too.
I feel like if I'm getting triggered by something, what programming is inside of me that I have to look at,
right?
Because it's a trigger, because a trigger for one person is not always a trigger for another person.
Exactly.
So it must be something inside of me. So I always go back. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And we've been taught in our society to blame and be a victim. Oh,
right.
Somebody else's fault.
Right.
But now I go back and I go, oh, all right. I got to admit there must be something in here that I have to look at, you know. If it's something big that keeps showing up, you know, then
and then sometimes I like what they say about, like, I mean, there's different processes even with the Apex material, and some of them are a couple of ones I heard that are a little newer to me. Maybe I just didn't see them in the past. But just like talking yourself up on a topic where you're sort of like, the way you would kind of console a friend who was feeling bad about something. But like, like, oh, I hate when they block the driveway. I feel so like that they're being, what's that word when like people don't care? Inconsiderate.
Inconsiderate.
I think that's a big one for people. I think, you know, that's sort of what they're thinking is like, look what they're doing, and what is it? Because it's like they're being inconsiderate, like they, you know, you know. Then if you kind of talk yourself up, oh, I feel like that because, you know, it doesn't seem right. That's being inconsiderate. People should take care of each other, right? Then you increase it up to like, well, I do know that, you know, I've done some things like that, and so it is kind of human. Oh, you know, it's really just a few minutes, and like you sort of talk yourself up into a higher vibration on that topic. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, other, you know, I'm not. I don't know as much about, like, you know, we're talking about traumatic experiences. I'm not talking about that because that, you know,
that's
you take
serious.
more work. You know, I'm not going to come there with and do like, hey, look, you know, just like dance it out. You know, people need help with deeper things. But if it's something that's really not too heavy, try to talk yourself into a lighter feeling on the topic until you get, you know what, really, what does it matter? It was 5 minutes, and you know, and then you start, and then you loosen the hold of that trigger on you.
You know, I love that. I try to do that. Sometimes I think your ego just gets a hold of things, and the ego always wants to be right.
Right. Oh,
and
I know.
So we get hooked into it, and that little self-talk, I like that, kind of just loosens the resistance of the ego that's like, you know.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to distract yourself at least temporarily while it's a hot topic, and maybe go back to it later when your driveway's clear. And then think about it, you know.
For sure.
But all of this stuff, like I said, you know, it's not that I'm a person who does a lot of yoga. Maybe I do it, you know, twice a year, but it's a practice like everything else.
Yeah.
Right? And we're still human. So, hey, like it or not, this is the shell you're in. So, you know, let it be okay that sometimes you're going to be quite human about things.
You know, I think that this is good that we're addressing it, because I think that the dark side of the law of attraction and positive thinking is all that, is that we can suppress feelings. Yeah, and we don't want to do that. Right. What we want to do is transmute the feeling.
Yes.
Instead, and so what you're saying is, no, you're not suppressing it. You're transmuting it by doing this little self-talk.
Right.
Really, you know. Yeah.
I mean, or it could be, I mean, like, and again, I'm not working, you know, I've done my own thing with regular therapy over the year. Well, actually, it always had a little bit of a subconscious clearing component. I always felt like that was helpful. But you know, you want to, if you want to work on your traumas, that's great.
Yeah.
In a very effective way that feels right for you. But with these things that are, not as big of a deal, it seems like you really could just, it sounds kind of funny, but it's like, okay, just take a piece of paper and write. I mean, it's really amazing how some things, it's like, right, you get your soul's ideas out on paper, and seeing it, writing it, you can really help to change your mood and start to clear some triggering topics that are not, real terrible ones.
I agree.
And you can feel the feel of, I'm sorry, just the anger. Like if you have to also, besides getting, professional help and all that, you could just like pound on I've done this, not today, pound on your couch. You're angry about something, or someone said, Trevor Blake is another speaker. He said, go someplace where you could scream where no one's going to hear you, like get that out, punch a punching bag or something.
I love it. I think, feel the feeling, but then don't hang around there.
Exactly.
Then okay, I felt it. Now what? Right now,
right. It's a release. You usually feel better, or cry it out. Or sometimes, I mean, I have to do that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes just cry it out, and then you do feel better. And then
you do.
Yeah. I mean,
I
like the other one line that they've said in the Abe Hicks thing. They've said like, it's like you feel these feelings. Like life is not. And there are this contrast. The challenges are contrast, and you're not always going to feel joy all the time. You're going to feel all these lower vibrational feelings and everything.
Yeah.
But you do not have to suffer so much. That's the part that I like to say. Life's going to be tough, but like you don't have to suffer so much. Now, people could say, "Oh yeah, well that's very easy." Terrible things happen. But if you could get to a point where you can move on somehow, with help, of course. I believe in getting professional help.
What do they say? Like you can have pain but not have suffering, right?
Right, exactly.
That we all experience pain, but we don't have to suffer as much.
Right.
When we know the law of attraction, when we know about levels of energy, when we know we can kind of transmute it with different practices, and also take our attention and focus towards gratitude, towards what is working,
or putting your energy now into something that's very fulfilling, which to me, following your passions is really, and I heard it again this week, it's really like a connection really to the divine, and to like high vibration. So I guess that's why a lot of people who have had these terrible traumas, they create an organization to help other people with those things. You put that creative, right? You put that energy into creative expression, or just doing other things that are passion following paths, and that'll help you get into such a positive flow that you wind up getting, maybe then like finding, say, the therapist that is going to help you further on your trauma, because you just happen to be in this high energy flow where all these things that you've been looking for just show up.
I love that. In particular, I think about a mom whose child, passed away from drunk driving, and then she started this whole organization.
Yes.
So she channeled that. Always talk about this because, as you know, I've had traumatic things happen.
Yes.
But I always say, how can we be like an alchemist and transmute that negativity into gold?
And you're doing that all the time with these things, Tish.
Yeah,
so thank you so much.
That's what we try to do.
Right.
You and I, is it's like, well, how can I show up and transmute that? So
yes, beautiful.
You brought up a good thing though that I wanted to talk about, because you and I both love dancing.
Yes.
And I know you dance. you dance in your lives, and you're a huge dance lover, as am I.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's something that's so good for my soul. I know
Yes.
for yours
It's
too.
amazing. And also,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, and it's interesting also that you're bringing this up, because I'm feeling like I'm learning more about what I always sort of had an inkling about. Maybe I've heard about this a little bit before, but the is it the resonance of music and our cells? And because sometimes I almost feel like if I put on some song that I love, right? And I'm not talking about these, sad songs and people are angry and the songs. I'm not talking about, you know, good feeling music.
Yeah.
It's almost like I feel like I could bathe in the sound vibrations. Like it almost feels like it's I don't know. It's just I feel like it's healthy for the cells, and I'm actually starting to hear more about that kind of a thing. They're even starting to
Yeah.
do for healthy cells. They're starting to do more, like medicine is finding out more about how to change the vibration, improve the vibrations on person's cells in their body to heal. So
Mm.
music, and I just think this is sort of where things are going. Actually, with
I love that so much, and I've been listening. I maybe I'm Brazilian. My parents were
oh, I
Brazilian.
forgot.
I
Okay,
grew up
yes.
in Brazil, and in
Oh,
Brazil,
samba.
I've been listening to the music because the drum sound
Yes.
really makes me feel good, and I feel
Yeah.
it, like they say it's good for base chakra stuff, like it, and
Oh,
I can,
really? Interesting.
yeah, so it's like I'll hear it in that boom boom boom, and I can feel
Yes.
it in my heart too,
Yes, right. I've gone to sound
and
therapy appointments and stuff, and I
mm,
right, I forgot about that. Exactly.
yeah, so I totally
Very
agree,
helpful.
guys. If in the middle of the day, I'll put some music on. I also like, I don't know if you know this group, Deva Premal. They're more Indian, more
Oh, I'm not
like
sure. Like
kind of.
a yoga music kind of.
Well, yeah, they're pretty famous worldwide, but it's these Indian mantras, and the woman's
Oh,
voice is just beautiful. And that speaks to my soul. So whatever music speaks to your soul, it could be 80s music, it could be
right. Exactly.
whatever, right?
Yes, definitely,
Uh,
definitely. And it should be, I mean, ideally, I know that Apex talks about like, like don't put on the things that talk about, I mean, you do whatever you want, but, like, when someone is talking in the music about like sad stories or bad, it's almost like, okay, so they wrote this, like that energy is in that. Like if they're putting that sad story into music, they're writing it at that time. But when you listen to it, you pick up that sad vibration. It's like,
yeah.
sometimes we think, but that's an excellent song. Okay, but how do you feel when you're listening to it?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to offend anybody who likes that kind of country music where your
Right,
dad
right. That's what I was gonna say. I
died,
was just gonna say, yeah.
but I don't. I feel so sad when I hear those kind of songs, and
Yeah.
so I veer away. And also, we'll just keep going. Movies lately, I can't
Right.
watch any
Same thing.
movies that
Right,
are
right.
violent and
Yeah.
have stuff like that. I just
Exactly.
can't,
Same
you
thing
know.
with me. But and I have to say there are, and being from Brooklyn, I'm as far away from country music as it comes. But I do like some of the country singers, and I go for the ones that are kind of the upbeat songs. So that there are some upbeat songs in every in every genre. And I think though, actually, probably, I don't know if somebody said this, or if you're feeling like I'm gonna have to if I take this out, will you be able to hear me if I just talk to the phone?
Let's try it.
Okay, because otherwise my battery, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, well, we're gonna
Hi, do you
wrap
hear
it
me?
up pretty soon anyway,
Can you
but
hear me?
go
Okay.
ahead and try it. Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you.
very good. This is very,
Yeah.
hang on 1 second, because but wait a minute, what was I saying about the country music and the oh no, if you're not really feeling, say you're not in a really good mood, I think it's possible. Hold that thought. See? Just like the right. Hey, I didn't turn into a pussycat like the judge did when he was on Zoom. So I think say you weren't feeling that great. I think they were saying, were you telling me this? I feel like, or someone else was telling me, like, maybe you could put on a song that is a little bit above that vibration that you're feeling. Like maybe it's not such a happy song, but maybe it's a little bit notch above what you're feeling, and and then you could kind of, you know, play when you get that vibration, play a slightly happier song until, you know, like if you're feeling lousy, you're not going to play, you know, celebrate. You know, maybe you could almost move your oh, this is getting stuck, huh? Is this getting stuck?
A little bit, yeah. I think it's I don't know what happened there at the end. Maybe it's your connection.
It doesn't make too much sense. Okay, but you know what? I mean, I just pulled out the microphone.
Yeah, maybe. Uh-oh, now you're really frozen. We'll give Lynn one more minute here for her to get back on. So for those of you that are watching, one of the things that I wanted to mention that I like to do to raise my vibration is when things are not going well, to write a full description of the situation the way it's now, tear it up, burn it, and then write another description of the situation the way I want it to be. And that like feels so amazing. Let me check with Lynn and see what happened to her, because I don't think she's with us anymore. Nope, we lost her. So let's see if she'll join us so we could say goodbye. But I'm so happy you guys joined this talk. And here we go.
Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's okay. It's technology.
It's the Wi-Fi, because that was just the computer. That's a microphone.
Okay.
Wi-Fi. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But this is what happens. But even music can shift your vibration higher and higher. You know.
Higher. It's true. And so, you know, there's so many practices. What I would recommend, this is just my recommendation, and I'm sure you would agree, Lynn, have some things in your back pocket when you are feeling low or you're off. That like go-tos, like look at a YouTube video, or
sometimes make a little list. They say that too. You know, keep a list of things that make me happy. You know, I mean, and something could be, and this is like, I mean, as simple and, you know, practical as it sounds funny, but actually I have a good example of how it's not just me that is helped by this. One time I was in, you know, like a Rite Aid, you know, like one of the big pharmacy chains, like in like a one of the aisles. I was shopping for candy, for a gift for somebody, chocolates or something, and there was a Lionel Richie song on. And I'm, you know, and for some reason when you go to those stores, they have, you know, they want to keep you in there shopping, so it's like a pleasant. They've got good sound systems, and I'm there, I'm buying chocolates, and I'm singing "You Are the Sun," whatever it is. And then I go around the corner, and there was another guy singing too and dancing.
Oh, I love it.
Those simple things like that, you know. Something's like, you know what, just get out or go for a walk. Go to the CVS pharmacy and buy a card and listen to the music while you're doing so. You know, like simple things. But to see, I just happened to turn the corner and I see this other guy. You want?
Oh, that is so cute, Lynn. Yeah, I love that so much. You know, my mom, when she was alive, she would dance in the middle of the store, and I'd be so embarrassed. That's when I used to care, and I'd be like, "Mom, you know, I was young."
My mother always my mother would like to, and she's not here, you know, here physically, but she would love to. She would whistle to every song, like even current songs, and I would say to her, "You know this song?" And she's like, "No, but I figured it out." You know?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is now I do what she used to do.
Me too, right? Yeah.
So
it's, but yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I feel like for me, I don't know, 2020 was one of the worst years ever, but I think it also freed us in some ways. Like right now, I'm just like, you know, what if we lived as this was I don't want to sound morbid. It's actually a good thing. What if you lived as these were your last few days, you know?
You make the most of each day, squeeze the juice out of the day, you know, and
Absolutely. And it's like,
And make
okay,
yourself uncomfortable a little bit. It's really not, people are making mistakes all the time. Look at this.
yeah,
The thing went out, Jimmy Fallon's kids were running all over the place on the Tonight Show.
exactly. It's right. Exactly. It's like, we don't all have to be perfect. And now is your time to live.
Right.
So, gosh, Lynn, this was so fun. I hope you guys out there got some value out of our chat.
Oh, yes, it was great.
And
if nobody watches this, the two of us had a good time.
We had a good time. We raised our vibration.
I'm gonna go dance in the aisle now at the
I'm gonna go put some samba on.
Yes,
and
I'm gonna
go shake my booty.
Yes, thank you. No, I'm going to do that because the Brazilian. Sometimes also I do notice if you listen to music that is not like you, even if you don't know the language or you're not familiar with that music. Like I did the other day. I do like salsa music, but I don't understand. I didn't know those songs. I didn't understand the words. But sometimes just the beat is actually easier for us to relax to because we're not following the story that it's saying.
Yes. Yeah, and I love to make up words. I never sing songs with the words. The people that know me know I make up all the words because I can never remember them. So, but yeah, this has been phenomenal. So if they want to,
thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was an honor to be here.
Oh gosh,
and
thank
to talk
you,
to you. I feel like I should, I feel like I should give you a check for life coaching today.
No, I should give you a check for all the beautiful stuff that you put out there.
Thank you.
And one thing that I want people to know is where can they find you if they want to follow you?
All right, thank you. Right now, I do most of my sharings and posts on Facebook under my name, Lynn Girardi.
Okay.
But my business name is Whole Life Boogie. So there's wholelifeboogie.com, which also has like a little free passion following tips if you wanted to check into that about me adding more, following your passions in life. But Lynn Girardi is pretty much the best place to show up right now, I think.
So friend Lynn, Lynn is my friend. For those of you that are my friend, you can find her very easily.
Right.
And Lynn, this was a joy.
Thank you, a joy for me too. And I want to share this with my friends and followers so that they can, attend more of your, your events and see your videos. So
well, thank you, Lynn.
Win for you.
It's win. Yeah, we're here.
Fun, no competition, right? In this life, I feel like that's the old paradigm, as Bob Proctor would say.
I love that so much, and I feel like the more that we help each other, especially women, the better off the world will be. We're all here to lift each other up.
Yes, and I think it's actually I'm seeing more and more of it these days. I'm happy to say that, like maybe not when I was in school as much, but now I feel like I'm seeing more and more of that, as well as you don't have to retire, at a certain age. You can also live a new chapter of your life and still follow your passions at any age. That's another thing. That's for another day. We'll talk about it.
Well, we're going to do this again. I mean, Bob Proctor's 87, I think.
Oh, gosh, he is my hero.
He's my hero. Yeah, but we'll do this again. And thank you. For those of you who watched, thank you for joining us. And you guys have a fabulous, fabulous weekend. Go out there and raise your vibration.
Yes, go dance. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. Take care.
Have a great day.
You too. Take care, Lynn.
Thank you. Bye-bye.